Hello everyone, welcome to another LEGO set review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fire Dragon Attack set. This set comes with 4 figures, a dragon, and I guess you could call it a side build. So just real quick, this stand doesn't come with the set, this is just something that I made to show you the figures. This set comes with Kai, Zane, and Whiplash, I think, and a Golden Legacy Nia, which we'll take a look at. These are all figures that we've seen before, so I'm not going to spend too much time looking at them. You know, you can look at the front torso printing, and this is what they look like from the back. Now I'm going to remove all of their extra accessories, and then we'll take a look at the figures themselves. So they just use their regular Ninjago movie faces, except for Zane, who uses the hunted face, I believe. This is a reused face print again, I believe. And if we just remove the head, you can see that it's got some printing on the top there. Nothing special, but still good figures to get, other than Kai. I think he's in too many sets, although I kind of don't want him to not be in this set, just not in some other sets. Okay, so here is the season... Fuck's sake. Okay, so here is the 10-year anniversary Nia figure. This is a golden version of the Ninja, which we've seen multiple times. It comes with this nice stand with the light blue studs. And then the figure itself has the same leg print that we've had for the past couple of Season 10 10-year anniversary figures. And then if I remove some of this extra stuff, you can have a look at the figure. So here's a look at the Nia. If we take that off, you can have a look at the back. Good figure. No real complaints. It's just a nice inclusion that I can say about all of the other 10-year anniversary figures. And then we have the Fire Dragon itself. This is, I believe, like one of the only builds in this set, unless you include the saddle, which can be taken off. Just got some clips there and there. I'm glad to see that they've carried on having saddles be able to be removed. So yeah, just them 2 clips there and there. I'll just take it off now. By the way, some stickers on either side of this piece, just in case you was wondering. Now, with this dragon, it's got a very nice design, I think. If you look at it now, you can see it's got the moulded head, which I'll just get a better look at. So this is all printed and looks very nice. You can obviously move the mouth open, and there's nothing inside of it. So I was expecting a stud shooter, or at least something to go in there. However, it's just plain, which I don't have too much of a problem with. It does leave this weird gap, so I don't know if I would have preferred a stud shooter in there or not. I usually have the mouth open, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, if we start turning this around, you can have a look at obviously the wings, which I'll show you in great detail in a sec. And then the tail, you can move on ball joints. Every piece is on a ball joint, so you can move it pretty much however you like. There's some nice spikes on the back, and then this all like narrows down quite nicely into the back. So some people said that it's a little bit too bulky at the front to then be able to like go down to such a thin waist, but I don't mind it too much. It does leave it a little bit blocky at the back, however I don't mind that again too much. However, I don't mind it too much, like being like slightly squared off, because most of the time it's not that noticeable, and it means that the legs have great articulation. Speaking of articulation, let's talk about that. So you can adjust the head on this ball joint, on this ratchet joint here, angle it all the way down, and then there's this ball joint here, which can angle up and side to side, but not down because of this blocking piece here, which is just kind of silly to include. I think it was for the weight of the head, however, there's been no issue with the weight because it's such a small head, or like lightweight head. So when I end up taking this and displaying it, I'm probably going to remove this piece because it doesn't really add anything and it just kind of makes it awkward to pose because you can't really angle it down. But you can angle the head itself down. That has good articulation, you know. Like altogether, these things do give it quite a nice pose, but it's just kind of awkward too, as is, because of this like random stopper here. So after we've spoken about that, let's move on to the wings. So this is on a axle, I believe. Can be moved forwards and backwards, up, down, in, out, however you want to do that. And when you've got the wings out, I'll just mention this, got some feet which can be moved, and the claws can move. However, you can pull these out, which is very nice. I really like that you can do that with a dragon. And I also want to talk about the material that's used, because this isn't the usual like plasticky material. This is like a really nice cloth. I don't think I remember this material being used in any other sets, so I'm a huge fan of this. It's like the newer style cape that's been used, and that's the same on both wings. Now, there's a bit of a problem with the feet, where you have to angle the dragon up by quite a bit just to be able to get him to stand up without support. Or at least without support from his hands. You can angle him down to like a normal pose and put the hands or feet or however you want to call them down, so he's on all fours. Now I'm going to have to remove the arms for a sec just to show you the legs. So the legs are on normal swivel joints. You know, you can move them up, down, in, out, just like the wings. And then it's got the claws. However, you can't angle the feet at all. There's no way to move them. They're on these clips, here and here, which force it to stay like that, which kind of frustrates me because you can't angle the feet out too much. Or at least, like, you can't really do that. Obviously, it's not supported by the hands, but you can't do certain movements because of that. Otherwise, it's not quite flat on the ground now. I normally don't really care about that, but for some reason, it really bothers me that I can't make these feet just flat on the ground and spread out. So it's kind of awkward like that, but let's put the wings back on, like how it stands, because obviously you can't move the feet, so you kind of have to do this sort of pose where it's, I don't know, like on like all fours, and then you bring the feet up. So it's kind of awkward to do a walking pose. You can lift one wing up, I think. No, you can lift one of the back legs up completely and have it relatively stable. As you can see here, there's nothing touching it there. However, the other three legs are on the floor. So there's kind of an issue with that. And obviously adding the saddle doesn't really affect it too much. You can have a figure there. So what I'm going to do is set up a small display and talk about how I feel about the set. Okay, so here's a small display that I've set up just to talk about this for a sec. So the figure selection is good, I think. I personally prefer getting the skeletons over the ninja, so I would have preferred not to have Zane. However, he is still a good inclusion, still makes sense if I can get the skeleton to stand up again. So yeah, he's not a bad inclusion. It's good that we get 3 different figures for this set, plus the golden figure. Obviously it's a bit awkward to include that in the display, so I'm doing my own display with the golden ninja. And overall, this is a very good build. It was an enjoyable thing to put together, as well as quite challenging at some parts. I had to use the brick separator on the chest a couple of times because of just some of the build techniques. I'm trying to show that on camera. Where they've got some really interesting angles going on, so it's good about that. The lack of articulation is kind of annoying. However, again, I understand why they didn't, because you have to keep the balance. However, because you still have to put the hands down anyway, I think just having foot articulation would have made more sense, maybe. Because not only do you have to have these hands on the floor if you're going to be posing this or something, but you also can't then adjust the feet. So it's got some problems, however nothing is too major. You can still get it in quite a tall pose and put the hands and feet down. This piece just popped off. It doesn't usually come apart. The saddle is nice, being able to take that off and put it on is good. There's not many play features with this, there's no stud shooters, it's just a dragon that you can move, and I really like that for how easy it is to pose. As far as awkward colours go, there's not many. There's the grey joints here, but other than that, nothing else really bothers me. Obviously there's also them, which is kind of annoying. I'm probably gonna put the spare pieces or go in my random parts box and put some red studs or something on them, because that is a little bit annoying, but again, it's not very noticeable. Quite a few stickers used. I forgot to mention there's then ones there, both on either side. And I thought there were more, maybe not. So anyway, yeah, there was a couple of drawbacks to this set. However, I still think this is an amazing set done well. With the inclusion of the golden Nia and the 3 figures, maybe an extra figure would have been nice. I don't know, to be honest, because £44 for this set. I just wish that there was a bit more of balance, rather than 2 ninja and a dragon against a skeleton. Kind of feels a bit imbalanced, however, nothing too serious, just build your own things, I guess. So yeah, that's really it for this set review. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, all of that usual stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.